You may have already viewed some of the other topics in this Outlook 2013 series. If so, it may seem strange that we're talking about how to launch the Outlook application now, and didn't do so earlier. I wanted to acknowledge that I am aware that some think launching and navigation should be the very first thing explained, but there are a few reasons why that isn't the case here. Most importantly is that I teach the way people would use the product, so your learning is sequential, it makes sense, and it doesn't jump around from topic to topic. That means we need to be sure that we understand what Outlook is, how email works, at least at a basic level, and how to configure an email account to be used by Outlook before we actually try to use the software. Now, either you already knew all of that and you've skipped over to this part, or you've invested time in viewing those other videos and now have a solid foundation upon which to begin using Outlook. Either way, now we're ready to actually get to work, and that means knowing all the ways to launch Outlook. When it comes to launching an application, those who have used computers before will most likely find comfortable, familiar ways to do so. And honestly, it doesn't matter how you do it as long as you can start the application. But if you're new to computers, and especially if you're new to Windows 8, which is what I'm using here, we want to do a little bit of review of some of the new ways to get productive. Now, Windows 8, like previous versions of Windows, allow us to do many familiar things. For example, we could use a desktop icon or shortcut. We could also come down and access the taskbar. Mine happens to be hidden, but as I move to the bottom of the screen, we can see it, and we can also pin things to the taskbar here. What you will see that is very different with Windows 8 is we no longer have a start button. So pinning things to the start button, like we used to do in prior versions of Windows, is not an option. But the taskbar icon and the desktop shortcut still work the way that they always have. What is unique to Windows 8 is the evolution of the start screen and tiles. In order to show you this, I'm going to go ahead and press the Windows key on my keyboard. This takes us to the beautiful, colorful start screen that Windows 8 is so known for. We have tiles, or these little squares here, and we can see one that we have specifically for Outlook. This is pretty much like the old desktop icon. If we were to click it, it would launch the application. So we don't need to go over that, but I wanted to go over one more way that we can find things in Windows 8 if we need to. When we're on the start screen, all we have to do is start typing to begin a search. So if I just start typing Outlook, and I don't even have to finish typing it, it brings up the Outlook application. This again is just like a tile, except we found it via search. But I can still give it a click or a tap, which I'm going to do, and this eventually launches the application like any of these other methods would have done. By the way, if all of these methods were new, you might want to check out my Windows 8 series. It covers all the awesome new features of the Windows 8 operating system in more depth. Now that I have that little bit of selfless promotion out of the way, we've reviewed the plethora of ways that we can launch Outlook. That means we're ready to actually start using it.